Work initially started more than a year ago when Community Services Department Homeless Assistance Program initiated efforts to address the more than 100 large encampments sheltering approximately 150 individuals in the Santa Maria Riverbed area. Many encampments also include animals such as dogs, cats, and chickens. The photos on the left of the screen were taken in July, and the photos on the right were taken in October, and show the difference made over those 3 months. As the county staff led a coordinated effort involving San Luis Obispo County, the city of Santa Maria, Caltrans, law enforcement, and service providers. During that time, 100 individuals received case management and housing support from Good Sam, 5 Cities Homeless Coalition, and the public health, public defender, and behavioral health teams. Additionally, 150 tons of debris, including hazardous materials, were cleared. Care for Paws and the San Luis Obispo Animal Control Services treated or rescued dozens of animals. This collaborative effort resulted in improved environmental conditions and positive outcomes for many unhoused individuals.
This was such an eyesore coming over the bridge. It was kind of depressing coming back from San Luis Obispo all the time. You come into your city, and this was the first thing that people would see. I just want to show my appreciation. I know this was a coordinated effort through our CEO's office. I know Wade really went to bat for us. I want to also thank CEO of San Luis County, Matt Pontus, for getting us rolling up in there. I want to remind people that that entire area is the property of San Luis Obispo County. But I appreciate their willingness to help us, the city of Santa Maria, providing their rangers, Caltrans cleaning out underneath on their right of way underneath the bridge. I just wanted to thank you both so much, your leadership. This was done in a humane manner. People were safely extricated from some of these very scary conditions that they were living in. I got to go out the first day and witness firsthand the first deputy, ranger, and deputy that walked up to the first tent. As we went to remove somebody, the first thing we heard was, don't reach for that weapon from the deputy. So there was somebody in there with a gun right off the bat. So there were animals out there. There were chickens that needed to be rounded up. It was a Herculean task. And Joe and Jesus, your leadership really made a big difference for the community. Like to comment?
Chair Levanino, excuse me, and members of the board, particularly Assistant CEO Wade, we appreciate very much those kind remarks, but I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that it wasn't the director of the department at the staff level. It was really Joe Dzvonek. He led the whole effort, organized it, worked with his partners across the river, worked very closely with elected officials that also began to exhibit interest across the river. And we particularly want to acknowledge the work that you did and the work that Supervisor Nelson did. Your support, your leadership, your strong, consistent attention to the progress that was being made was instrumental in allowing us to realize the success that we think we've achieved. We want to also underscore that this is not just a one-off. We hope to continue to pay attention to this, and we will be bringing to the board in a matter of weeks a proposal about keeping an eyes on that river to make sure it doesn't return to the state that was depicted in the photographs. Joe, if you would.
Well, thank you, Director Armas, and thank you, Chair Lavinino, and members of the board, and Wade for all the appreciation you're showing me. I just want to thank, as I would also, Kimberly Albers, if she's watching. Thank you for laying the groundwork for this and the funding for this, and Lucille Boss for putting together the structure and the concepts that make all of this happen. I was proud to get out there and lead it, but it certainly could not have happened without their brain work and their determination. So I just want to thank them personally as well and wish they were here.
Yep. Supervisor Nelson?
Yes, thank you, Chair Lavinino. I just want to go back to about a year ago when this process started. I was pretty involved in it, and because I had been really involved in the Lompoc Riverbed cleanup back when I was a chief of staff, and so I was really interested in the approach that we take and how to solve this problem. And like some of us elected officials do, we start to micromanage projects. And Joe at that time said, let me handle this, and I was concerned. I said, well, then who's going to be responsible if this doesn't work out? And Joe said, I will be. And I mean, that amount of extreme leadership and ownership is something that I should think needs to be really looked at in this county and brought up. That gave me comfort as an elected to just take a step back and make sure I gave you the resources, or I worked at the lobby to make sure you had the resources necessary to make the project successful. And you absolutely delivered. And I think it's just a real tribute to a team effort. I can't stress enough the fact that almost none of these parcels were in the county of Santa Barbara, but yet we knew that these were our residents that were now living in San Luis Obispo County, and they needed help, and these impacts were our impact to our residents. So instead of passing the buck like a lot of other governmental agencies typically do, Santa Barbara County stepped up. I think I might have the number right, but I think the resources that went into this project, 80% of those were from County of Santa Barbara, our organization. Yes, we had partnerships and help and from the city of Santa Maria and San Luis Obispo County, but that's an extreme amount of investment that we all made in that at this board. And so I want to just thank Joe and Jesus and their team. I want to thank the CEO, and I want to thank my colleagues for continuing to support this. Without the 5 of us working together, this wouldn't be possible. And I think the lessons that we should learn from Lompoc were when we did the original riverbed cleanup there was that we walked away when we were done. And I think that it's going to take ongoing diligence and set the new norm is that this is what the expectations are. And hopefully through that, we can have ongoing success in that area. So thank you.
Supervisor Hartman?
Well, I think another lesson that we learn is you've got to have a place to offer people to go. You can't just be pushing them around from one place to another. And for that, I think it took tremendous courage for Supervisors Lavanino and Nelson to stand up in a community where people really hadn't seen a success and really thought the only solution was to push people around. It took a lot of political heat to create Hope Village, but I believe that is what enabled us to along with other shelters and opportunities that are available, but that really made this river cleanup possible. And I contacted Joe several times over the last several months, and he was always in the riverbed. This was hands-on hard work. He really did take personal responsibility for this, and it's been an extraordinary effort. I hope people are seeing a change in our county. I do. When I take the train, when I drive the freeway, we are making a difference. But I would say there's one place left that really desperately is a humanitarian crisis. And we need to work with the city of Lompoc and the residents of Lompoc, because what's happening in the Santa Ynez River is unconscionable. And we just can't stand by any longer. And I know you're as committed as I am to take this success and help them understand that they too can have a picture like that. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it gives us all a sense of accomplishment and a great sense of hope.
Yep. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right.